Hey folks, Lever here once again. Welcome back to another Flash video. Of course, doing my Super Marathon. I've been on the Flash 2014 CW TV show starring Grant Gustin. And now I gave my thoughts on season 1 and season 2. Now I'm giving my thoughts slash favorite episodes, some okay ones, of my thoughts slash favorite episodes of the Flash season 3. Which I did enjoy the season. Probably the last good season in my opinion. Right after this it just kind of went downhill in my opinion. But I did enjoy season 3 of The Flash. This was good in my opinion. Now there are problems with it. I did have some issues with it, which I'll get into during this video. And I've only written 21 episodes now. Another 23, but again, I didn't watch Invasion. That was a crossover. And Duet, which is a crossover with Supergirl, Melissa Botanist. So again, that was on, that started off with Supergirl season 2, but I will not be talking about no crossovers. It's just about the Flash only. So yeah, these videos just about the Flash for now. With the Arrowverse and others crossovers, but for right now, this is just about the Flash. So, but good season. I'll go ahead and talking about it, and I got the episodes written down here, all 21 of them. So. Go ahead and get to what the season's about. I hope everyone had a good week. It was a bit of a breezy day, to be honest, at work. A bit of a cold day, which is actually nice, because it's been hot for a very long time. So, it was nice to have that. But anyway, what season 3 of The Flash is about, we'll go back to The Flash season 3. What this season is about is that Barry creates the alternative timeline Flashpoint, following his decision to change the past, which he went back in time to save his mother at the end of season 2. Now he's living in Flashpoint. Kind of a wonderful life kind of scenario. In his way, his dream, yeah. He was able to partially restore the timeline, but caused the emergence of Savitar, a godlike speedster, or called himself the God of Speed, with a grudge against Barry. When Barry accidentally travels to the future and sees Iris was killed by Savitar, he becomes desperate to change the future to prevent that from happening. After saving Iris and defeating Savitar, Barry takes his place with the Speed Force in order to repent for his creation of Flashpoint. He does deal with some consequences of that decision in this season. But yeah, I want to talk about my favorite episodes. I think I only have 2 okay ones. But of course, starting with my favorites, we're going to start with that. Of course, my first favorite is the Flashpoint episode called Flashpoint. Pretty much opens with, you see Barry, at jitters, preparing to talk to Iris now. Iris, remember, since he created Flashpoint in this timeline, she doesn't know him. She went to school with him, but he never went to her house because, remember, he saved his mom. So he's never met Iris. He's never been raised by Joe. He was never raised by Joe or anything. He's raised by his parents. His mom and dad are alive. You see him and his mom, they have a good relationship, and he seems to be happy. He's trying to ask Iris out, and he eventually gets the courage to ask her out. And Iris, of course, says yes. There's also a new Flash in town. Kid Flash, of course, it's Wally, with his yellow suit and stuff, which is cool. And he's fighting an enemy called the Revival. Barry tries to check on him, maybe help him out once in a while. But Barry also has Eobard Thawne locked up, and Thawne says, you can't do this, Barry. You can't keep me locked up like this. I'm sorry I killed your mother, but, that's the part of the history. I have to do this. Yeah, I had to kill your mother. He's like, But throughout the episode, Barry, when he's having these interactions with, Iris, he has, his memories are fading of her, so he's forgetting about these memories he had with Iris throughout his life. Joe is an alcoholic cop. He was an alcoholic. He doesn't do much for police officers. He's just been lazy, been drunk quite a bit. Yeah. And you find out that Cisco is a billionaire tech, is a tech now, and I do like seeing him rich, that he's got the, he's got his hair all tied up, and he's got these cool glasses on with the blue suit on, and he doesn't even know who Barry is. Caitlin is a doctor or whatever like that. But he does end up finding that Kid Flash is, of course, Wally. Finds out that him and Iris are helping each other. They're like a brother-sister team. They're trying to fight the rival. Of course, the rival, Barry and of course, Barry still has his super speed, but every time he uses his speed, you find out from Reverse Flash, because Reverse Flash, he comes up with the idea, we'll call this Flashpoint, this little world he created, but he says every time you use your speed, your memories go away, and your powers can go away. But he decides to help, Wally as Kid Flash. They go with Flash, they fight the rival, and the rival takes his mask off because he believes that you should know your rival. He's like, Edward Claris is my name. You should know who I am. Why don't you take care of myself? And Barry says, he's like, I'm the Flash. That's all you need to know. Still has his mask on. And they fight him. There's some cool shots there. But Kid Flash kicks some ass, Wally does, but rival kills him, impels him with a pipe. Barry ends up able to stop him, but he ends up hospitalized, and this is why Cisco, he owns Star Labs now. Well, it's called Ramon Industries now because he's rich. So this is why I didn't want to get involved and deal with this. But Barry has to go back to Reverse Flash, and since his memories are fading, since this world is not just doing good anymore, he can't be Flash anymore. It's pretty heartbreaking when he has to say bye to his mom and dad, because his mom was murdered by Reverse, and his dad, of course, in season 2 was killed by Zoom. He has to let them go. It's a sad moment when he has to say goodbye to them, and they're saying about him. They go to Reverse Flash, and Eobard, has to recreate the timeline as it was. So Reverse Flash goes back in time and of course kills his mother. Barry has to relive the pain again of seeing his mother die. And then afterwards Reverse Flash what happened is when Reverse Flash goes back in time, the Barry that saved her, he vanishes from time because Reverse Flash shows up not quite, and stabs her and murders her, and since the timeline restores the timeline. He's like, well, Flash, everything goes back normal for me, but for you, everything will be different. He's like, what do you mean different? You'll see. And then he just takes off. And you pretty much learn that, he sees Joe and Wally, gives him a hug, and he's like, what was Iris like? That's not funny, Barry. And you find out that Joe and Iris have been mad at each other. They're not talking anymore. But at the end you have Edward Claris, and this time was confronted by a mysterious voice and finds the message, alchemy, dark alchemy, in a mirror, writing it down to come and find him. And that's Flashpoint. Excuse me. Good episode. Another favorite of mine is called Paradox. Like I said, with this episode, Barry learns the multiple changes. He freaks out. He runs all the way to Star City to talk to Felicity. Speaking so he's like, whoa, Barry, slow down. He changed the timeline, and you find out that John Diggle, who had a daughter now has a son, because Barry changed the timeline. And he tells her, how his day went. But Joe and Iris aren't talking because since Joe didn't let her know about her mother being alive, she stayed angry. Cisco was angry with him for not alerting him, for looking time not to save his brother Dante. I'm like, for me, Cisco was kind of a jerk in this episode. Cisco was a bit of a jerk in this season, a bit of an asshole. I'm sorry, I don't like Dante. I've never liked the character of Dante. Dante's a prick. I never liked him. Didn't really care about him. And Cisco being like, well, you should have saved him. I'm like, really? I'm like, Cisco, if you had Barry's powers, if you could run back in time, you probably would save your brother. And yet Barry could have been mad at you about something. But Cisco's like, well, you shouldn't have done that. He's just being a jerk toward Barry and stuff. I'm like, get over it. I'm like, really? Barry was more of a brother to you, was more like a brother to you than Dante ever was. So I'm like, But Cisco, after this season 3, he just kind of becomes a douchebag, I think. Yeah, he becomes unlikable. And also he has a new CSI partner named Joan Albert, who was played by Tom Felton. People probably would know him, I think, from Harry Potter, which I've never seen him, but but of course Joan Albert doesn't like him. He just calls him Alan. And Barry is able to use super speed to steal a blood sample from a crime scene, which he's the one Barry touched. Barry is able to use his super speed. Barry decides to go back in time and fix the damage, but instead but Jay Garrick from Earth 19 or Earth 3. I'm getting confused. Earth 3. Yeah, from Earth 3. Again played by John Wesley Shipp. Again, who was the Flash in the 1990 series. He's like, no Flash, trying to stop you. He tells Barry, can't keep doing that. He explains to Barry, we're not gods. We're just human. We have these abilities for a good reason, but we can't mess with time because the way he explains it to Barry, okay, he explains with the cup, but he's this is the timeline, Barry. This is the timeline. And the more we miss, the more you do this, the more you change stuff, you end up breaking it more, damaging it, as he explains to Barry. He's like, you can't play God, you're not God, you don't really have a right to decide who lives and who dies, and you can't keep changing the past because you'll just ruin more of the time continuance, But Barry comes up with an idea to get Joe and Iris, Cisco and everybody, Caitlin, to have dinner. Eventually he does tell them about Flashpoint, and Cisco's like, really? My brother Dante's dead because of you? I'm like, whatever you do, Cisco. I'm like, everybody else I can understand why they're mad at each other, but Iris did forgive him, but, in season 2, but I guess in this timeline, since Barry restored it, changed it, she didn't. Also, Barry has to learn to live with this mistake of creating Flashpoint. Edward Claris has visions of his Flashpoint life. He locates Alchemy, who, Alchemy has this dark voice and tall man with his mask on. He's able to use this stone to give people powers. Barry goes to confront at the White House that of course, rival. He said, well, of course, Flash, I didn't come alone. Alchemy attacks Barry with a stone, but Alchemy goes away, and Flash fights him. Rival was able to create these two tornadoes, kind of like Twisters almost. And Barry's like, I can't do it, I can't stop him. So Iris is like, Barry's like, you can do it, Barry. You can stop him. You can defeat him. He's like, yes, I can. I'm the Flash. And of course he takes him down, which is cool. Edward Claris ends up in Iron Heights, they call it, for a prison for Meadows. But Cisco and Barry rekindle, as do Iris and Joe. Well, reconcile. I mean, you figured Caitlin was not infected, but Caitlin was. As you see her, that she has ice powder, you see her hands freezing, turning into ice, eventually, in her way to becoming Killer Frost. But clearly she's the voice of Alchemy that you failed, and he's killed by another fellow metallic being, which is, of course, the god of speed himself, Savitar, choking him to death and murders him. But Paradox, good episode in my opinion. Then another favorite of mine is called Magneta. This is where Harry and Jesse Wells, Harry Wells, from season 2, Wells, the jerk Wells, the one that can be a jerk, but not the villain one. Anyway, they go back, they return here to Earth 1. And you find out that she is getting super speed, and Wally sees that, and Wally becomes a bit jealous of that because he wants to be a superhero too, because since he learned that he was Kid Flash, but Barry won't tell him what happened to him. But that dark matter blast, when they tried to give Barry back his powers, it gave Jessie the power of super speed, and her superhero name is Jessie Quick. So she's got. Can't see it here, but she's got the red suit. Not yet. Her father, Harry, wants her to get rid of these powers. Doesn't want her to have it because he doesn't want her in danger. You find out about this foster child named Frankie Kane. Frankie, she develops a metahuman powers. This split personality she has. Frankie's a nice good girl, but when she becomes this split personality, I can't fucking speak tonight, sorry. Magneta, is evil, has power control stuff with her mind. She nearly kills her stepfather, but her stepfather's a prick. He's very abusive toward her. They try to find out why he's treating her like that. Even Jillian talked to her. Jillian, who was, doing the whole, because he's against metahumans, and he's trying to, and he's able to, get this water and find out that this girl, has ability, is magnetic. Confronts him about it, nearly kills him, but Barry's able to become the Flash and save him, and yeah. And of course, Magnetic ends up going to find Alchemy out and says, in order for you to become not Frankie anymore, you must destroy her. You must fully become Magneta. You must kill your stepfather. She uses her powers to overtake her, but Barry can't get it by himself. Flash can't get it by himself, so Jessie uses her speed, and her father finally accepts it, and she does, and it works. She's able to use her, help Barry, save him. Flash goes down there, talks to her, and says, it's not worth it, Frankie, you can't do this, this isn't you. Don't let him turn you into a monster, don't let him turn you into a monster, I promise you, he'll pay for his crimes. And she goes back, Frankie's like, oh, I'm sorry, and gives her a hug, says, it's okay. And they cure her and help her out, which is nice. And she gets sent, thanks to Star Labs, they send her to a better home, and of course her stepfather ends up going to jail for his crimes against her, for his abusiveness. Wells tells Jessie that he will support her decision of becoming a superhero, and gives her her own suit, the Jessie Quick suit. Joe later ends up showing Barry Julian footage of the Flores murder, and they find it suspicious, like somebody's there killing them, like they're just like, who is this? Yeah. But again, Magneta, you do feel bad for the Frankie girl and her being abused. Yeah. Yeah, child abuse is a terrible thing. Yeah. That's just awful. Yeah. You don't deserve to have a kid if you're going to abuse them like that. Yeah. But anyway, another favorite of mine is, well, actually it's not a favorite. This one's okay in my opinion, this episode. It's called The New Rogues. This episode takes place about 3 years ago, the night when the particle accelerator goes off, that Sam Scudder and Rosalind Dillon, his girlfriend, who are cohorts of Leonard Snart, aka Captain Cold, were they basically, I guess, were doing some jobs and were working for him, and they tell Snart, we're out, Snart, we're done with you. So it's like, well, if you're out, you're out. And he tries to kill him, they fight, the power accelerator goes off, and Sam Scudder ends up becoming the Mirror Master. And he ends up in the mirror, and it's 3 years later, he gets out of the mirror, chokes this guy, he's like, walks out of there, he's like, where is Leonard Snart? And his girlfriend, who is, they call her Top, she has the ability to make you, like, when you look into her eyes, turn yellow, look at you, you look vertical like you're about to lose balance or die, you're like, oh, like the whole place is falling on you. Because she tested on her boyfriend, Sam, because he used his abilities to get up there when Joe and Cecile, who, of course, is this attorney that Joe has been flirting with, maybe even trying to ask out. They try to ask her questions about her boyfriend, but Scudder shows up, using his abilities, is able to get out of there. Eventually, Scudder's able to use his abilities to try to attack one of the people there that night. Kills him. Tries. But Snart, remember, was at this time with Legends of Tomorrow, and he sacrificed himself, so he died already. So Scudder figures, well, it's time for a new rogue in town, to take over, to become, to rob banks and stuff. Jessie tries to use her new power to help out. Jessie tries to, doesn't listen to Flash, and she ends up chasing right after Top, and Top uses her abilities, and mainly, faints her out. She almost falls to her death, but until Barry uses super speed, and Barry goes after Mirror Master after Scudder, but Scudder is able to trap Barry in traps him in the mirror, and they can't hear Barry because he is in the mirror, and they're trying to figure out how to get him out of there. Harry and Cisco are. I like what her and Iris there's this funny moment, she looks in there, she's like, that Barry's like, does this thing about the butt look big? I thought that was funny. Her butt looks great, by the way. Because there's Candace Button, she's always gorgeous to look at. I'm going to want it. But anyway, Caitlin, without anybody knowing, since they can't, Barry will die in a few minutes, she uses her ice powers behind their back. Just uses them to get them out. Doesn't tell the team, of course. But then him and Jessie capture Mirror Master and Top as Jessie is able to overcome it and just knock her out, which I thought was cool. And Barry's able to trap Mirror Master in the mirrors. He tries to run to the next mirror, but can't get to and phase into the next mirror. So Barry uses super speed. Flash does, and super speed and punches them out. He's like, "What are you gonna do now?" And he ends up in Iron Heights. But him and Jessie ends up go back to Earth 1. They evaluate, the team recruits a new friend, another H.R. Wells, another Harrison Wells from another Earth. I forget which Earth, but of course that is H.R. Wells. H.R., who I thought was funny at first, he's got a hat on, the drumsticks. He's like, greetings, other things. No, I'm just kidding. I've always wanted to do that. Of Earth 19, even though Harry didn't want to replace him at first, but he just has to go with him. Caitlin goes home that night, takes a shower, but accidentally freezes the water in her shower. And she has appearance of her hair turning like cold or ice, so she cuts it like she fears that something is wrong. But anyway, that was the New Rose. I wasn't a big fan of Sam Scott or Mary Master. I just wasn't a fan of these characters. I mean, I like Caitlin using her powers, but I'm sorry, Captain Cold was a better villain. Yeah, in my opinion. Right. Anyway, that was the New Rogues. Alright, that was okay. Then another one favorite of mine is called Monster. Caitlin leaves the team a message that she's leaving for the day, but she just says that she's going somewhere, she needs to do something. She doesn't tell them, but she goes to visit her mother, Carla Snow, I guess you can call her. Her mother's a famous doctor, a medical research company she owns, and she wants to talk to her mom, and her mom was like, I can't talk to you, honey, I'm busy. You know, her mother was very cold toward her, it always has been. I guess ever since Caitlin's father left them. And Caitlin's like, Mom, I need you to listen. She uses her like Caitlin. So they test Caitlin, and she's like, they make her freeze this heat or whatever. And when she changes to Killer Frost, her eyes turn cold, turn to ice. And basically there's this guy there helping her mom, you know, working with her mom, this other doctor. And Caitlin says, okay, I don't want to be here anymore, I'm going. And the guy's like, whoa. He turns to switch. He's like, you're not going anywhere. He locks the door. He's like, open the door now. He's like, no, you're not going anywhere. I need this, your powers to help me create this new science, because he knows he's tired of working for her mother. And, his powers is the research he needs to get out. And so she attacks the guy. Killer Frost just freezes his arm. He's like, let me out. And then, Carla shows up. No, I didn't raise a killer, Caitlin. You're not. This ain't you. And she's like, and then she just leaves. But also, the team ends up dealing with a gigantic creature who disappears on the streets of Central City. Buried, a flash. I was like, guys, I'm seeing a monster right now. Yeah, literally a giant monster walking. HR doesn't provide much help, but you find out that HR, you find out he's doing this he's a novelist. You figure that he's not a scientist. He's not, of all the Harrison Wells, he's not really smart. Doesn't know anything about science at all. He's an idiot, but a funny one. But, you find that HR is a fake. There was actually a friend of his that helped him solve the science quiz. That they left for Harry's other doppelgangers to figure out. But this monster is able to, because Barry tries to do like Empire Strikes Back and tries to use super speed to tie a rope and try to get the monster to fall, but it doesn't work. So the police are about to start shooting at the monster. Sappers, the Flash says, no, don't shoot. Flash, says don't shoot, and so they don't shoot and they almost, one cop does shoot, and Flash, runs and grabs a bullet. If it has a hologram, you figure out that it's actually a 15-year-old kid who was bullied, who was fear of others, so he wanted to use fear on other people by creating this hologram. And Julian almost, shoots this kid, almost, and he feels guilty about it, and Barry as Flash stops him from doing it. And Julian just somewhat feel guilt that maybe not all matters, not all people are bad as you think. Just a kid who was bullied and figured he bullied others, but he just did it wrong, I mean, I didn't understand, I've been bullied too before, but this isn't right what he was doing. And Joe explains that to him. Well, basically, HR is an ID man for his company. He only came here to write a novel to this earth. Barry and Julian reconcile. You seem to kind of go that, well, Alan, don't think we're friends. He was like, okay, whatever, Julian. But they do have a bit of a talk, you know. Congo at the end of the episode tells Karen that her powers are increasing and that she needs to stop using them or you just will become visible, but she gets mad and freezes the computer up. The more she uses them, the more she'll be turning into Killer Frost. Yeah. But anyway, that was another favorite episode of Iron Monster. Then another favorite of mine is called Shade. This is where Wally ends up having dreams of being Kid Flash. And he would like to do this. He would like to become Kid Flash. You have this metahuman named Shade, who ends up killing a man by using his shade powers, chokes a man to death, and so the team had to hunt him down. Murders a stockbroker. Caitlin ends up revealing her powers to Cisco, revealing her ice powers. He's like, Caitlin, you're not a metahuman. She freezes the cup like, I need you to vibe me to see my future, and he vibes her, and because he sees the future that they're fighting as Vibe and Killer, that she does Killer Frost in the future, that they're fighting as Killer Frost and Vibe, and he's like, I didn't see nothing, everything's okay. But he's like, we should tell him. Like, Caitlin's like, no. Even though he tells them, the team himself. And Caitlin's like, really, Cisco? Really, you had to tell them that? And this upsets her. But, she does tell him that, eventually he does tell her about the truth. Alchemy is contacting Wally. Wally's getting these memories from Flashpoint of being Kid Flash, and Alchemy's like, Alchemy, Wally, come and find me. So Wally ends up getting locked into the particle server, the metahuman prison. And he's like, get me out. He's like, oh, the pain that hurts, let me out. I was like, no, Wally, I'm not letting you. Just let me out, Iris, let me out. And he doesn't get out, tries to escape, and Iris gives him a good knockout. Wally ends up, convincing the team to leave into Alchemy. Anyway, Shay's next attack will can you say his name right? Damn. Joe and Cecile end up finally going to this movie, go to watch The Shining, but the Shade shows up to fight, Barry shows up as Flash, and can't get him until they're able to knock out the lights and tackle the guy down, beat him. And so in order for them to go up against who Alchemy is, you find out that Alchemy is actually Julian Albert, yes, the CSI partner of Barry Allen. But it's kind of like a psychic kind of thing, where, Saboteur's calling him. Alchemy is like kind of a John the Baptist kind of villain, like John the Baptist just announcing that the God of Speed is coming. But Barry, Joe, and the SWAT team, they end up locating Alchemy, and his followers and surround them. But this shadow, this ghost, comes and attacks Barry, attacks Flash. And only Barry can see him because he's a speedster, you find out. He's like, hello, Flash. He knows I'm Flash like this. I am Savitar. You were just a man, Flash. You're just a man. But I am a god. And you can't stop me. Alchemy is a test Wally to pick up this fallen energy rock or whatever weapon, which, it puts Wally in a crystal cocoon, basically giving him his powers. And basically, Savitar stabs him with a blade. He's got like this, his own like big body that he can stab you with. But really good episode in my opinion, especially a good way to show Avatar. I know people complain, it's another speedster, but I like Savitar. I think he's a good villain. Oh, and there will be spoilers in here too. Sorry, I'll mention that in the comments down below as well. So, again, spoilers for this video. Anyway, another favorite of mine is called Killer Frost. But anyway, open up with Savitar fighting Barry. He's just dragging Barry around the city. I mean, CGI and stuff. Well, CGI of him just running and beating the crap out of Barry and chasing him, running him, beating him up. And he's almost ready to kill Barry, almost ready to kill Flash until, Cisco's able to arrive there and, Kelly uses her freeze powers to stop Savitar after, runs away. Savitar flees, Caitlin ends up, her Killer Frost persona takes over, and she figures that when she goes to Killer Frost, she wants these powers taken away, so she figures Alchemy knows where to find Savitar. Alchemy, one of his followers. She tortures one of his followers, freezes the room, almost kills the guy. She kidnaps Julian. Almost he's ready to kill him. I liked it that when Barry shows up as Flash just to save Julian. Sorry, to save Julian so that and Julian's like, well, what are you waiting for? Knock her out, she's a man. And then, he's like, knock her out. And then Flash is like, knocks him out. He's like, come on, Caitlin, this isn't you. And the cops are about to come in and she has to help her run. So she creates this ice pack and stabs him in the leg. He's like, don't follow me. Meanwhile, Joe, who's worried about Wally, breaks him out of the cocoon thanks to the help of HR. Wally emerges with his speed powers. He races away in a confused state, pretty much toward his mom's house. But, Flash is able to, thanks to Joe's strategy, Barry's able to use super speed to, tase him or whatever, just give him this internet just to pass him out. But anyway, they fight Caitlin a bit by, takes on, Caitlin. Really, they fight Caitlin. Sorry if I sound a little tired. She nearly, kisses Barry, gives him a cold kiss, and almost kills him until, they stop her. But she reveals the flashpoint, and you see the dark screen is like, y'all better let me open this door. And it's basically just Killer Frost persona that's taking over. She's like, okay, wait, if you're going to kill me, you're going to kill me. Live up to the name Killer Frost. It's like, get out of my way, Barry. He's like, you're not a killer killer. She goes like, oh, Barry, and then give each other a hug. Wally embraces his new abilities, enjoys them. Julian ends up agreeing to protect Caitlin from the police, but forces Barry to resign from the CCPD, forces him to quit. I forgot to mention that him and Iris are dating now. Yeah. At a flashpoint, they started dating, and she understands about his powers. At first, Joe was like uncomfortable with him dating or kissing, you know, until eventually Barry's like, okay, Joe, get over it. And they do share a kiss, and like, yeah, and Joe gets used to it when dating. And like I said, Jillian, spoiler, Jillian is alchemy, before I said it, and is working for Saboteur. Alright. Yeah, but good episode in my opinion. So that was Killer Frost episode. Nope, no. Yeah, no crossover, remember? No crossovers. So. And then another favorite of mine is called The Present. Barry ends up going to Jay Garrick. Well, you see, yeah, Mark Hamill makes a small cameo in Earth 3, you know, with the teeth, you know. Yeah, looking like, you know, a vampire, trickster, or whatever. So it looks like to me a little bit, but, yeah, there's two of them, you know. But he asks Jay for help to defeat Saboteur. And, you know, Alchemy and his followers end up going to praise Saboteur, you know, release Saboteur from his place, and Saboteur, you know, fights, he's like, Jay Garrick, he's like, he finds somebody like, this is not your fight, Garrick, you know, you stay out of it. But anyway, they're able to defeat Alchemy. They take Alchemy down, and Alchemy, they take his mask off, reveal that he's Julian, you know. We found out that Julian was, you know, in an expedition. He finds this Philosopher's Stone, like Harry Potter in the Hall of Philosopher's Stone. No, but in that's how he became Saboteur. I mean, how he became Alchemy, Dark Alchemy. It has something to do with his dead sister. The Saboteur was able to manifest through Cisco, using visions of Dante, and then they said, open the box, take it, Cisco, we can be together again. But Katie was able to convince him, no, that's not Dante, Dante is gone, you know, and Saboteur got so close to getting out. But Saboteur was actually trapped in the Speed Force. He's been trapped there for decades, trying to get out, you know, by using Dark Alchemy to help that. The team ends up communicating with Saboteur because Barry's able to talk to him. You know, takes his mask off from Julian, reveals that he's the Flash to him, and he's able to talk to Barry, and he's like this. At first, you know, Saboteur first is like, shouldn't you be bowing before God? He's like, you're not a God, just a man. He's like, I am the God of speed. I'm the first. Found out Saboteur was the first speedster ever. And he demands his person, I know all your names. Joe, Wally, Iris, I know all you. I make features. One of you will suffer a great fate. One of you will betray each other. You know, one of you are going to die. You know. And it's pretty creepy. The guy who voices Saboteur does a great job. You know. And gives a Saboteur a creepy voice. He's like, sooner or later, Flash, I'm going to come out, and what I do, I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to take over, you know. Just you wait, you know. Oh, one will fall, also fall, and the third will suffer a fate worse than death. Barry and Jay end up throwing the box into the Speed Force, but in the process, as Barry does that, Barry ends up getting thrown into 5 months into the future, and he witnesses Saboteur killing Iris. That, you know, it's like this. It's like, you lose Barry, and stabs her with a knife. You know, and Barry sees that in the day of a guerrilla attack. Goes with the signs. You know. Wally is eventually given his own Kid Flash costume, which is cool. Julian gets Barry shot back for him. Barry ends up at the end, since Christmas, rents an apartment for him and stuff. I mean, they've lived together their whole lives, and I guess that they've always somewhat been in love. And, you know, it's nice to see them kissing. Have an apartment together. That was nice. Yeah, but that was the present. Yeah. Alright. And then another favorite of mine is called Barring Problems from the Future. Yeah, Barring Problems from the Future. Barry ends up having these nightmares about the future, about Iris's murder. HR once over at Star Labs into a museum. He's an idea man, he knows how to start a business, but since he has the face of Dr. Harrison Wells on the first Flash, you know, because again, Harrison Wells confessed to the murder of Nora Allen. He has to, but HR has this device that can change his face, which is pretty cool. Barry ends up catching this character named Blunder, but that was a pretty long name. But this guy robbed places. You know, he puts the place on fire. Barry teaches him to teaches Kid Flash how to use his abilities. And, you know, while he loves being Kid Flash, he gets attention from people that say Kid Flash, or, you know, he gets a picture of cheerleaders. So he loves the attention. Yeah, he said he's an ego. An ego. Very upset by it. Barry, why are you acting like this? She was proud of him. But eventually he reveals to the team of what happened about her being murdered. So it's like, oh my god, but he didn't say nothing. But they sent out to tell Joe because Joe might want to go after go after Savitar. They decided to change the events to prevent Iris' death. Yeah. They write there on the board, you know, the events of the future that, you know, what Barry's able to go vibe there thanks to Cisco vibing him there. They vibe to the future and write it all down of what's going to happen. It also reviews that the Star Labs Museum will be closed and Caitlin will end up becoming Killer Frost. Blunder escapes and Barry decides to change the first event by letting Wally capture him, which does work. Cisco helps HR. He's like a hologram of him saying, "Hey, I'm Cisco Ramon," when he talks about Star Labs. Julian is persuaded by Caitlin to join the team, although her own motive is she wants him to help her, you know, lose her powers, but you know, he can be part of their team. A mysterious woman named Gypsy returns from, you know, from another Earth, arrives searching to arrest HR. Yeah. But Barn from the future. Good episode. Alright, then another favorite of mine is called Dead or Alive. But this is a bounty hunter. Her name is Gypsy, like I said. She possesses powers similar to Cisco's. These police, you know, she goes and uses her powers to get into jitters. These police try to stop her and said, well, you know what, when the door closes, police officers another window opens and knocks them out. She shows up at Star Labs. Cisco's like, oh, she's gorgeous. And she breaks in using her vibe powers, and he goes to Gypsy. Cisco's like, he's like, excuse me. He's like, hi, I'm Cisco. Maybe we need to cool down, maybe go for a drink. He's like, HR in the camera, like, really, Cisco? You asking her out right now? You asking her on a date? He's like, yeah, she's attractive. But apparently he found out that HR broke some laws, and according to her, Earth 19, her job is to find him and arrest him, and basically he's going to be executed. But Cisco demands a trial by combat, which is on Earth. You give you 24 hours to prepare for HR's life. The duel is to the death. They try to save Cisco, but she's smart and she's able to take Barry down by using these cuffs, her vibe powers. And her and Cisco do fight, but Cisco ends up winning, which is cool. He's got the sunglasses, the blue sunglasses, and his costume, which is cool to look at. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, like I said, HR, Cisco does defeat Gypsy, but Gypsy, you realize that she tells, him, Gypsy tells HR he cannot return, because she goes back to saying that, she couldn't find him, or make a lie up about it. No, I'm sorry, no, she says that she killed him. Barry plans to have Wally increase his speed so that Wally can save Iris from Avatar, from killing Iris. He's like, you're going to save Iris, Barry. He said, Flash, you're the faster than me. You're fastest. Yeah. Oh yeah. And also in episode 8, Wally and Iris, do the sister team up in this timeline, which is cool. Iris has put herself in danger. But, he saves his sister, of course. Yeah. But a good episode, in my opinion. Alright, then another favorite of mine is called Untouchable. Barry and Wally continue their training by running to speed. Barry has to test him out. He's like, alright, good job, Wally. But Barry runs up by phasing through a building, so at the episode he's trying to teach him how to phase, because Barry can phase through walls, phases up by vibrating his body, which, Wally has to learn. Eventually he knows. Julian finds a decayed corpse that was murdered about just 8 hours ago from a metahuman. Caitlin and Julian are going to do an autopsy on the body, but the body turns into ash real quick. But you find out this guy's named Clive Oaken. He's basically what he can do is when he touches a person, he can turn them into a corpse right away, and he wants to kill Joe West, And Joe, by the way, who's been dating Cecile, eventually, meets her daughter, along with Barry, Iris, and Wally. And she talks about that. She thinks that Kid Flash is cute. And she likes Kid Flash. Oh. Then what I said, and he tries to kill Joe in a train or whatever, but it doesn't work. All he's able to interface, he phases right through, the metahuman, right through Jorgen's body, and it gets rid of his powers. And of course they arrest him. But eventually they do tell Joe, about Iris's death in the future. He's like, why didn't you know this? This is my daughter. I should know this stuff. And you can't blame Joe for being upset. This is his daughter. He has a right to know. But while he's practicing his phasing, but he is upshot to see that, Jesse Quick shows up. She just jumps through the breach, telling him, no, not here. My father, he's been kidnapped. He's at Gorilla City, and that's when you get the next episode. A good episode, in my opinion. Untouchable. Here. And of course, this is one of the future events that happens in this season, leading up to Iris' death. And that episode's called Attack on Gorilla City, another favorite of mine. This is where we get Grodd back. Pretty much in Arc 2, Harry Wells is captured by the apes in Africa. Apparently, him and Jesse were contacted. Him and his researchers or whatever scientists were contacted by the gorillas wanting to meet them. This is where they sent Grodd to, where these apes are intelligent. But apparently that didn't happen. They got captured, and so did Harry. But that Harry was leading the expedition to Gorilla City, they were ambushed, and Harry disappeared. Apparently Grodd, needs him for a reason. They just don't know why. There remembers the news reports, saying that the team, Central City, has been affected by that. The effects after that. Him and Julian, he was dressed up like Indiana Jones. They basically just, insist on kill him. Try to go to rescue Harry. But they end up getting captured by the gorillas. Grodd is, who can do mind control. He speaks to Harry. He's like, and Grodd tells him that he needs Flash to kill. He's like, gorilla law, kill or be killed. That's what's going to happen, kill or be killed. He says that the leader of Gorilla City, Salvatore, Grodd's master, Salvatore, is planning to attack, Central City once apes to rule, like Planet of the Apes kind of thing. So he needs them to kill him. Salvatore comes to Grodd and says, why didn't you tell me they're here? He's like, I'm sorry, master. And he hits punches Grodd. He's like this, we will fight, and you will die, Flash. And so, he's like, are you going to take a life berry? And what happens is, Flash fights Salvatore knocks him down a little bit, but, Barry tries to run around the stadium using his super speed, but, Salvatore does this jump, knock him out. He comes close to killing Barry, but Barry's able to knock him out by phasing through his chest, phases right through here, knocks him out, and kill him. He's like, no, we don't need to kill him. None of us humans, we're not all bad. We can be merciful. We can show mercy. And they knock him out, and Grodd says, you failed to kill him. He's like, Grodd. And Barry's able to figure, wait a minute. Grodd, you're planning to attack Central City. So you wanted me to kill him. You pretty much want to know that Grodd wanted Barry to kill the Salvatore so he can become the new master, so the apes can serve him, and that he'll be their new master, and that he wants to take over the Central City. But he convinces the apes that humans are dangerous, so of course they decide to join Grodd. Grodd seizes control of the city and starts an invasion of Earth-1. The team ends up asking Caitlin to kill Cisco to prevent Gar from using him to open a breach, but she refuses. So instead they use, but, Grodd is very smart. He has a backup plan, and he uses Gypsy instead to open up a breach, mind controlling her. Barry pretends to be dead while he's dead, thanks to Caitlin using her powers. It works, and there we go. Wally and Jesse end up having a hard-time relationship. She feels that Wally doesn't love her, that he just loves his powers, that's all he wanted. And I know Jesse, he's like, I love you, I want to be with you, I want you to go there too, I want you to be here, stay with me. Julie and Caitlin, end up going on a date with each other. Even, gives Caitlin a kiss, which I can't blame him. I mean, Daniel Pennebaker, who wouldn't want to give her a kiss, right? Grodd in his full armor, prepared to go attack the Central City. The person of Harry and HR clash as they find out they're different. Harry tries to prevent, they tell Harry about it, and he's like, I'm going to stay here with Wally. He's like, this guy? He's like, okay, don't screw it up. I think he's cool with it, and he has Wally help him, Wallace, as he calls him, but he tells Wally, I got cancer, I'm dying. And then, he's like, I feel bad now. But you find out, Jesse knows right away, her father is lying. He's like, I'm going to challenge this with you like I'm not. He's like, dead man. Riley's able to keep control of Joe West in his mind. He's like, since you care about this human, I will kill him. Like, no, Grodd, don't do it, no. Barry does consider killing Grodd the way to stop him, but he changes that feature. He's like, no, you don't kill him. Barry, that's just not you. Iris convinces him not to do it, because that's not who he is. Cisco and Gypsy bring Zolwer to Earth 1. Zolwer defeats Grodd and assumes leadership again. Gypsy kisses Cisco before she returns home. Barry ends up proposing to Iris. When he picks up dinner for Jesse, Wally ends up seeing Savitar in a vision, roaring at him, and that's the end of that. Okay, I just did talk about both episodes. Okay, alright. So that was Attack on Grove City and Attack on Central City. Alright. There's another photo on it's called The Wrath of Savitar. Wally, of course, continues having these visions of Savitar. He tells the team eventually. The team tends to question Savitar about it. And, he says that he's able to, he tells the team someone that, oh, Flash, you're weak. I can still get out. Am I really trapped in the Speed Force? Because they threw the box in the Speed Force, but he convinced him that I'll still be able to get out eventually. He's also going to be able to escape. Though Caitlin ends a confession, she kept part of the Force Stone as to keep control of her powers, kind of like a snowflake of it. Must have used to remove her powers. But Wally Wallians is at home with Jesse. You know, they talk, give each other a hug. But Wally ends up, you know, like, seeing his mom. He's like, Mom, like, oh, honey, it's okay, I love you. And Jesse's like, Wally, you're scaring me, because he's not talking to him. He's like, Mom, I'm so happy to see you. He's like, Mom, it's not you, you're gone. And then all of a sudden, you know, Saboteur's like, you're not a fool, Wallace, are you? Sooner or later, I'm going to have you. Yeah. Wally ends up stealing the stone fireman from the lab to create a portal, launches the fireman into the Speed Force, believing that will is Avatar for good. But apparently this was Saboteur plan all along, as he's able to grab that stone and is able to get out, and you know, you see his costume get ruined, get destroyed, and he doesn't die, but Wally ends up trapped in there. And, you know, Saboteur's able to break out his Speed Force prison, and he's like, and Saboteur's like, finally, I'm free! And then he reveals to Barry, I've been planning this all along. You know, he's like this, I had to counter Wallace and his ego to do this for me. You know, I knew the boy had an ego, so I knew I could just convince him to do it. I could convince him. Yeah. And him and Barry fight. Barry does put a bit of a fight, but Saboteur was able to get his knife out again and, you know, stab him. He won't kill Barry, but he wants Barry to watch, you know, Iris die before his eyes. Barry breaks off Saboteur's arm blade using his vibrating hand, causing Saboteur to retreat. Saboteur's like, oh, you know, because he doesn't really stand Barry. Barry's able to, you know, cut it off. And, but anyway, really good episode in my opinion. So, excuse me. Another favorite of mine is called Into the Speed Force. Since Barry, you know, feels responsible for everything that has happened, Barry decides to end up rescuing him. He goes into the Speed Force, you know, again, you know, like he did in the second season, just to get his powers back, but this time it's to save Wally and the team. Well, you know, as Barry's in there, he talks to Eddie. He's like, Eddie had everything. Eddie had Joe and Iris. Iris is going to be wife. Joe is going to be follow. Until, you know, and then she wasn't shot until you ruined it, Barry. He's like, Barry, you know, you made a big mistake. You know, we kind of expected that you might create Flashpoint. That you'll get some kind of punishment for it. Trust us. And he has to find a time remnant, you know, that we use super speed and get away from it. Basically, you know, it's the Hunter Solomon, who was, of course, Zoom. He also encounters Winter Stark, Captain Cold. He's like, you're not going in there yet, Barry. He's almost ready to kill him, so Jay Garrick shows up. You know, before, you know, Captain Cold frees him, Barry, you know, is able to use Jay's hat, who was contacted by Cisco, by the way, to come help him. He's like, you know, freezing back over like, alright, Flash, you win. And his torture is that he's seeing his mother die again and again. While he's seeing his mother, Francine, die over and over again. That's his torture. Jay ends up taking Wally's place, so Barry and Wally can't escape. Barry, you know, Jesse, upset by what happened, wants to go get Saboteur, but your sister says, you know, the team says, you're staying here. You know, HR's like, I'm not going to let you go, Jesse. You know. And she's like, oh, really? And then she punches him out, which I thought was funny. Well, there's also a moment where she's crying and she hugs on HR, you know. But also, you know, she goes to fight Saboteur weekend so nearly. Yeah. Jesse just makes a decision to go to Earth 3 to protect it since Jay is trapped in the Speed Force. Barry goes with Iris, but he admits he did it because he wasn't married to her. He was proposed her so he could change the future, but he also didn't ask Joe's permission, which he should have done. But he feared he'd change the future. He's like, hey, he shouldn't have done that. But that kind of upsets their relationship for a while. Anyway. Okay. But that was Into the Speed Force. Good episode. The next episode was okay, in my opinion, another last favorite. Another last okay one, that is Abracadabra. Yeah. It's a criminal from the 64th century comes to Central City, stealing from news tech companies and killing 2 guards by putting them in a water glass or whatever. Yeah, well, not water glass, I'm sorry, but puts them in this machine that starts water, it kills them. Gypsy returns in pursuit of, Abracadabra, but basically for revenge. And they do capture him. He's like, okay, we got him for a while, and he's gonna come back to Earth 2, Earth 19 with me. He's coming back with me. But Abracadabra's like, well, I can tell you what you need to know about Saboteur. He's like, I know who he is. And Barry thinks that this information can be helpful. So Joe ends up letting Abracadabra out. He's like, this, you better tell me who this is, Saboteur is. But he's able to use to escape. Because Gypsy gets on Joe. I was like, Joe, why'd you do that? Why'd you freaking do that? I was like, not now, Gypsy, not now. Cadabra also triggers this explosion that injures Caitlin. So, Jillian has to operate on her. Cadabra attempts to return his own time, having used his own technology to build his own time machine. Board is foiled by the team when Flash is able to use super speed and go to the buildings and face the his machine and grab him. Barry says the only way to save Iris' life is by traveling to the future. Caitlin is recovering, but she gets constant. She's having a reaction, a seizure, going into shock, but have a heart attack, and they face her body. They take the necklace off, and Cisco's like, "Don't do that. She didn't want it that way." He's like, "I don't care," because he wants to save her life. She awakens, but becomes Killer Frost, and she starts attacking dudes with her. Starts attacking them with ice powers, and the episode ends there. Well, I didn't like the Abracadabra character. Now, the actor who plays him, though, he's more with DC. He was in The Dark Knight. He played one of the, I think, the henchmen of the Joker, Heath Ledger, in that movie. Oh, I did talk about the Speed Force episode. Sorry. And he also was in Gotham playing one of Jerome's followers. Okay, but that was Abracadabra. Alright, just a few more episodes, guys, and we're done, okay? Alright, next is the Once and Future Flash. Killer Frost ends up destroying the necklace. She attacks Cisco and HR. Nobody kills them. Almost gets ready to, get you one kiss, almost ready to kill him. To revive Genevieve, she escapes. She's able to freeze the wall. Able to escape. But Barry, meanwhile, again travels to 2024, and he learns that Cisco lost his power after he fought Killer Frost. That she froze his hands, his arms springs off, so he doesn't have his powers anymore. He has like Terminator hands. He just takes off and Terminator 2 Barry. Yeah. Barry sees that in his future self, that he's got like longer, darker hair, evil kind of looking hair, and that his future Barry tells him, "You're gonna fail. You'll try everything you can, but you won't be able to save her." That Team Flash broke up. Julia works in a prison as a doctor, and like you say, Julie's a retired cop in his future, and him and Barry aren't talking. As Iris made him made Barry promise to be there for her father, after her death, to be there with him, just to comfort him that everything will be okay. Just to be there for him, and he wasn't. But he was in Star Labs, he was just a tortured Barry, no longer the Flash. Yeah, but he works at Iron Hudson and to Killer Frost, who, of course, Caitlin as Killer Frost now when she's in jail. And he's like, "You know who Saboteur is, don't you?" Be like, "Oh, you'll be so big surprised. Not gonna reveal it to you. You'll be surprised." Wally is in a catatonic state, just in a wheelchair, is confined to a wheelchair. Well, because his spine is broken. Top and Mirror Master have taken over Central City, becoming the criminals. Of course, committing crimes. Barry tries to run back to the past, but he can't. To the present. Barry is able to round up, Julian, Joe, and H.O. every time with Team Flash. Top and Mirror Master overrun Barry with their powers, but the future Barry ends up helping him. His new suit, I think, looks pretty cool, though. She's able to, present Barry's able to take out Top. Future Barry, future Flash, is able to, chase Mirror Master into a mirror and knock his ass out, so that was cool. Future Barry ends up giving, present Barry information and tells him that to find a physicist named Tracy Brand, who develops a Speed Force-based trap cannon, a speed cannon, after Iris' death. And the president of Killer Frost, Caitlin, meets up with Saboteur. She's willing to trust him. He's like, I don't know if we'll go for Caitlin again. You must become Killer Frost. Live up to your name. I can help you do that. Like, how should I know? How can I know I can trust you? And then Saboteur takes off his mask, his costume, and he steps out. And he visits, and she's like, "Oh, okay, I'm with you now." You see, he's like, we don't see it at first. We just see it a little on Killer Frost's face. Her reaction to him when he, takes off his costume. Yeah, but then 3 or 4 more episodes, guys. Then another favorite episode of mine called "I Know Who You Are." Barry, Cisco, and HR visit Tracy to seek her help. That they ask her help. She's kind of late and has been fired recently, but Killer Frost ends up showing up as like funny, and then she was trying to kill him. But Cisco can't use his powers against her. He's just nervous to hurt his own friend because he knows he uses by powers too. To even kill her, but he doesn't want to do that because Caitlin's his friend, Tracy ends up going to Star Labs Team Flash, showing her future. Her and, HR. Well, HR kind of flirts with her a little bit as Killer Frost tries to kill her again. But Killer Frost is able to, use her powers. Kind of like Frozone. Not Frozen. Frozone from The Incredibles. Was able to use her ice powers to to make a wall or whatever. Not a wall, but a line where she can fly. Use her ice powers to fly a little bit. To be on the ice. And Cisco was almost ready to attack her vibe. He's like, "Yeah, Cisco," but he's too nervous to do it. And she smiles and she's about to kill him until Barry intervenes and gets himself hurt. And she's like, "Oh, was it another way?" And Killfrost stabs him like this. "This is who I am now. Stay out of my way." And even, Saboteur gets on Killfrost like, "Live up to your name. Kill someone. Live up to that name." But anyway, her and Cisco end up having a battle. Killfrost has a battle with Vibe, but they kidnap Vibe, Cisco. Joe ends up admitting his love to Cisco and tells her the events. He basically tells her he just won't have no secrets from her, that he does love her. Even though he says he doesn't at first, but Frost shows up, almost about to kill him. He tells him that, Barry and Wally are the Flash and Kid Flash. Barry hears a revelation regarding Saboteur's identity. Given how much Saboteur knew about everyone, confronts him outside of the city, and you find out that, of course, Saboteur was really a future Barry. Yeah, from a future version of Barry. I'll explain a little later, but I knew who you were. Cause and effect. Another favorite line. Cause and effect. Saboteur explains that, this future Barry, Saboteur explains that he's a time remnant Barry, that when he fought Zoom, he created, but when he went to Flashpoint, he created Saboteur. He was shunned by Team Flash. Kind of hard to, I know it's a little confusing for me too, but I guess you said time remnant, was shunned by Team Flash, was treated harshly by them. He became depressed and ran back in time to ultimately ends up becoming Saboteur. He explains he needs to kill Iris so that Barry will be forced to create him in the future, so that hope exists. They try to help. They use a cause for Barry to lose his memory, but they even make him. He's like, "Who am I? I'm Barry Allen. That's me. Who am I? Who am I? The Flash." He's like, doesn't even know who he is. Doesn't know he's the Flash. And he has to go to trial, but he can't remember. But he can't remember anything or anybody. Which is funny. They give him these glasses, kind of like I have, but it's like reading glasses, literally. It's like Peter telling him what to say in courtroom. But the courtroom messes up. And I liked it. I thought it was funny. It was like, "Doc, this is cool." It was like, "This is so cool." And the judge is like, "I'm glad you went through testifying, but can you please answer the questions?" That was funny. And even Saboteur loses his memory too. Because, Killfrost was like, "Everything okay in there, Tim Metal?" And then he has "Who are you?" He attacks her. He's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "What's wrong with you?" He's like, "Who are you?" Wally's powers end up disappearing. This Power Man named Coolidge gets released. Cisco and Julian develop a way for Barry to regain his memories. And Barry, there's this fire, and he starts to remember Iris through her voice talking to him. He's like, I remember. And of course, Savitar gets his memory. Savitar's like, I remember, who I am. Tracy and HR develop romance. They even share a kiss. She shows him the Speed Force trap, which can work. Then you see King Shark at the end. There's 2 more episodes, guys, left. 2 more episodes. Then I'm almost done. And then the favorite of mine is called Infinio Street. But 24 hours left before Iris dies, Iris leaves a video for Barry, just in case. Team Flash ends up learning that there is only one energy source that can power the Speed Force bazooka, as they're calling it. It's a Dominator technology held by Argus. However, Lila, who was the husband of John Diggle, who works with Green Arrow, she asked him about it. Iris Lila was like, I'm sorry. If these supposed to get into terrorism hands, I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's just not going to work. But, so Barry decides to think like a criminal and is able to go to 1892 to recruit Snart. And Snart agrees to it. He's like, well, to execute the plan, you have to throw away the plan or something like that. Yeah. So they go and distill the device. Close it, help them out. They see it in the device. They try to open the door, but King Shark comes out and is like, we'll get a tap on him. So instead of just freezing him and killing him, Barry's up after he comes out. So instead of killing him, Barry, he has this thing where he can just pass Killer Shark out. It's kind of like Jaws, But they're able to sneak and they're able to get the device, but they can't run out on time, and Snart ends up trapped in there with King Shark until Barry, has it open. He's about to leave him, but Barry doesn't do that. So instead he opens it, with the help of Team Flash, and, King Shark grabs Captain Cole's legs, about to get him, but until the door closes, breaking his arm off, But his arm regenerates, like as you say, grows back. Until Lila says, it's okay. You think Lila's going to arrest him, but she's like, okay, I understand. Go do what you need to do. Jill hides Iris from Savitar, and Joe and Iris have to talk, and he sings to her, and they have a little dance, a little father-daughter moment. Yeah. And he shows her that, if this happens to me, because he doesn't really want to hear that, Barry's going to be there for you no matter what, Dad. And so, Savitar is end up tricks them as being Barry. He's like, thank you for telling me where Iris is. And, they're shooting at him first, and Savitar he shows up in Earth 2, but then he's able to get over and he's like, I was never treated right. You never did me right. It's like, if you're my son, you wouldn't do this to her. It's like, you shoot me, and then, Harry just pulls down, but he kidnaps her. Then this is Mom Bad happens like, come on, Barry, I got her. And, he's able to use the speed cannon, but it doesn't work. So Savitar's like, you just gave me more power. And so he's like, I'm begging you, please don't do this. And Barry tries to run, but he's not fast enough. He's like, you lose, Barry, and then stab and kill Iris, and Iris dies. And escapes. But that's the end of the episode. Yeah. Like he says, some spoilers coming up. So. And then the last episode of season 3, and that is Finish Line. Actually, it was not Iris, it was HR. He swapped places with Iris using his techno device to do it. And so he ends up with one dead. Yeah. And they all cry over his death, especially Tracy. Saboteur ends up kidnapping Cisco, forcing him to modify the bazooka into a interdimensional quantum splicer that will allow him to disperse himself throughout time and protect him from the paradox. Paradox that threatens him that he'll be erased from existence. Because remember, he had to kill Iris so that Barry can create him in the future. If that doesn't happen, Saboteur will cease to exist. Barry meets with Saboteur, believes that he can redeem. Now, this is one thing I thought was stupid. Barry said, I know Barry has a good heart and stuff, but he says that he can probably help him. They take him by the Soul Labs, and of course they don't trust him. They try to help him, even Iris has a moment talking to him. But of course he plants a trap, Tells them about Clifford DeVoe, who is the villain in the next. He's like, well, that's right. You haven't gone up against him yet. He wrecks the labs in order to Caitlin kill Cisco. But he forces Cisco to create the speed canning bazooka. He's like, through using the vibrating hand, they crush her. He's like, I won't do it to you, I'll do it to her. So, she's your friend, so you better do it. Saboteur ends up opening a portal into the Speed Force. He's like this, finally, to become a true god. Solomon's appearance as a Bioflash, but Caitlin, Killflash is able to freeze him, kill him, and stop him. However, Cisco ends up modifying the bazooka. He's like, what? No! It's like, and Cisco's like, you don't really think I believe you to make you a god, do I? I was like, you'll pay for this, And so they fight, him and Wally and Saboteur and, Flash are just running forest. This is at nighttime and they're fighting. And so does Jay show up to engage Saboteur. They convince Caitlin to abandon Saboteur. He's about to feel, I think, Barry comes close to him until Killflash turns on him, uses her freeze powers on him. And it's like, so just, I'm about to die, I can feel it. I can feel this paradox happening to me. And so, Barry's able to phase through it and push, the future Barry. Saboteur throws it like, see? And destroys his suit. Like, see? You're finished. You're done. You've lost. And so Saboteur tries to, the future Barry tries to get up and tries to kill him. Tries to run up and go kill him until, Iris shoots him down with a gun, kills him, and he erased from existence. Caitlin doesn't use this cure that gave her as having a proposal for HR. Well, not proposal, but a funeral for HR. She's like, she wants to find her own purpose, find out, where she needs to go, find out what she needs to do. Barry realizes that he needs to atone for creating the Speed Force, that the Speed Force is about to destroy Central City, realizing that he made the mistake of creating Flashpoint, and him and Iris are Iris is like, no, Barry, don't go, I love you. And he tells everybody bye. He tells Cisco, Joe, everybody bye, and Jay and Harry. He's like, stick around, Harry, please. He gives Wally, you're Flash now. Kid Flash, protect the city. And so, this is where season 3 ends with, the Speed Force, as his mom says, my beautiful baby boy. I'm like, he is not going to go torture anything. He'll be with me. And so Barry goes into the Speed Force, with his mom as the Speed Force, and at the end takes him into the Speed Force. As you say, his punishment or his mistakes. Barry knows what he did was wrong, and now he doesn't pay for his consequences. So at the end, he goes into the Speed Force, and Iris watches his crying in tears, and the episode ends there. So that's the end of season 3 of Flash. So good season, Getting to my problems with this season, well, it's not a perfect season. There are issues, though. I do love season 3 of The Flash. I do think this is a good season for the show. I like the plot. I like the story. I like Dr. Alchemy. I like seeing Kid Flash, Jesse Quick, seeing, you get more speedsters, you get a little more action in here. I thought it was a good story. I like Alchemy. I like Saboteur. I know people complain, we had Reverse Flash and Zoom. But, Zoom is still my favorite, because I think he's the more creepiest, but Saboteur is more the guy with speed, and Saboteur is full of fear too. He's a great villain in my opinion. Yeah, CGI, but I do like the costume and stuff. I do think that, him being a future Barry of a time remnant, that was cool. As Barry, himself could become Saboteur if if Iris died and, he just lost himself and was full of anger and stuff, could have been able enough to become Saboteur. Because this is what Saboteur figures, not be a man, just be a god, become one. But it's got a good story. I love the whole thing with Flashpoint. Really wish to see Barry done with the consequences of that. Again, problems. Cisco, I don't like this episode. He'd be a jerk. Especially George Julian for, to Julian. Well, I did like the character Julian. I met our first Julian, I didn't like him because I thought he was a jerk, but he grows in you during the season, as the season goes on, that somewhere in there he is a good guy. He's a good guy. Just a bit of a jerk sometimes. But he's a good character. It's a shame Tom Felton, sadly, he did not come back for any of the more seasons, which was okay, because the show became crap after this anyway, so maybe I don't blame him. Maybe he has better things to do. Maybe one season of The Flash was good enough, but I love the Saboteurs are going. I could agree, but at least in season 4, next season, we don't have a speedster, and season 5, no speedster. So, but, Cisco being a jerk, like Julian, because Julian took the crystal off and he gets on about that. Well, he did it for a good reason, because he wanted her to live. It was worth the risk, and I don't blame Julian. So, Cisco just can be a jerk. But he has his funny moments. And you do feel bad for him when he has to go up against Kalen because he really doesn't want to. But you see, you really understand why Barry did it, though. If somebody lost their parents, and when they were shot, of course, they do anything to have that back. And Barry has this ability, super speed, he can travel through time to save his mom, and he wanted to do that. So, but hey, he learned from his mistakes. Deep down, he's still a good person. He just made a mistake, But The Flash Season 3, good action. Some of the CGI is really bad, too. Some of it, like the blue CGI, I think looks good, I'll admit, for TV. But good action, a good show. I like the Flashpoint story this season. Really, really good season, in my opinion, of The Flash. So, my rating for The Flash Season 3, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. Probably my third, I would say second favorite season. No, I'm going to say third. First would be the second season. First season would be second favorite. Third would be this one. Because in my opinion, this was the last good season of The Flash that actually was good. That actually mattered, in my opinion. But after this, it was like everything went down here when we get to season 4. But anyway, let me know this in the comments down below. If you've seen The Flash Season 3, if you have not, again, I will leave spoilers in the description down below. So, I'll leave spoilers. Make sure you read the description box, okay? There are spoilers in this video, so I should mention that a little earlier. But anyway, guys, tell me in the comments down below, what do you think of The Flash Season 3 in your opinion? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for next weekend. Or for Monday night, maybe, What's next? Next, I will be talking about The Flash Season 4. So Season 4 will be next. Season 4 is next. So stay tuned for that. And guys, let me know in the comments down below what do you think of The Flash Season 3 in your opinion. And see you in The Flash when I talk about The Flash Season 4 next. So stay tuned next week for that. Have a good week, y'all. Oh, I'll be doing a video tomorrow, trailer reaction video. So I'll probably put it in on the community post tonight. So just look on the community post tonight for that. And so guys, see you tomorrow and a trailer reaction video I'm going to do. And thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.